Hi peeps, it's Tersse back in old squat box once again, and just been catching up on a bit of news. I've been a bit ill recently, so I've been on a lot. But yeah, all this stuff that's going on in both Britain, the sort of austerity measures, but still continuing to push for further tax cuts for the rich, reducing corporate tax rates to 21%. There's a bigger aim in this than just helping the rich to stay rich, and it's the same in America. The Paul Ryan budget idea, the trying to stop people getting health care, which it actually invigorates people to see the Democrats and President Obama as a good person to listen to them more and then hear the other things they're talking about, which is the unfair distribution of wealth. But the Republicans aren't just about stopping money from going to poor people because the rich people are their friends. A lot of these rich people aren't their friends, but these rich people are who pay for them to get re-elected. They know that when poor people get money, they donate to the people who put forward policy which helps them to climb out of poverty. And the Republicans don't care about that, because these people, when they get a bit of extra cash and an election year comes round, don't donate money to them. They don't donate their $20 or their $30 or their $50 to them, they donate it to the Democrats. So they want to stop you having that extra $25, $30, $50 that you could donate. They want to make sure you don't have that money. You might want to donate, but you don't have the means to donate. They're trying to keep you poor, and that's why they're shoveling the money to the rich, because they know that the rich are the people who donate to them. The Koch brothers, for instance, and that Jewish guy that owns all the casinos. It wouldn't matter to him if he didn't get a $200,000 tax break on every million he earns this year. It wouldn't matter to him. He would still be a rich billionaire. But if he does get that money, and the Republicans can go to him and say, well, you've got this extra money because I kept the policy the way it is, so how about an extra 100,000 this year for my campaign to get re-elected? That's what it's all about. It's not about just making the rich rich. It's about making sure those rich people know you're helping to keep them rich, and so you owe them. And then there's a quid pro quo. They say, well, okay, I will raise, the money that I'm giving to your campaign funds, but only if you help me to deregulate further this side of my business, which is a pain in the ass, like, having to empty the fucking, the coal ash ponds around my fucking factories, and, help me to decide that I don't have to pay for fucking contraceptives, for my workers, not because, they don't agree with abortion. That's all bullshit. It's not about religion, it's just because they hate having a black man in the White House, and they want to do something about it, It makes me so fucking angry, a black man, I want to get him out of there, And that's what all this has been for the last 5 years in America. Rich white people pissed off that there's a black man who all these racist motherfuckers hate having as their president. And so there's all these personal fucking gripes and grievances which the Republicans are sort of like feeding, They're like the guy who helps the fucking drunk to stay drunk by, buying him a drink every now and then. That's what it's like, you know what I mean? So all that bullshit about, the Republicans have got some ideological need for the country to stay the way it is because they don't agree with, distribution of wealth, and, people should keep what they earn. That's bullshit. It's all about them getting funds to stay re-elected. It's all about them keeping possession of the legislature, where they can then dictate, how to draw up the borders of electoral fucking, counties and stuff, so they can keep their seats. Because that's all they want. They want to stay in power because that's how they get rich. That's how they stay out of poverty. If you think about it, half of the people, Democrats as well, but Democrats and Republicans who have been, you know, found doing fraudulent fucking deals behind it, you know, the scenes while they were in office, abusing their power. Hardly ever do you actually find them actually getting caught and kicked out of office. And when they do get caught, even when they do get caught and charged and found guilty, they often keep their fucking seats. They often keep their job in the Senate, the houses of the states. You know, very rare do you find their friends voting to kick them out, because they've all got fucking dark skeletons to fucking hide in fucking cupboards, you know what I mean? And if I kick him out and then, you know, he knows something about me, he might fucking leak it to a press, you know, somewhere to get a few fucking $1,000, and, you know, and then I'm in this shit. Then I'm being investigated, because these cunts all know each other's fucking deals. Half of them are involved in the same fucking deals, so they know the other people that are involved in it, you know? So it's not just about them hating the idea of a social fucking system, because the whole of America, the whole of Europe, the whole of the Western world runs on a social system, but the social system is more beneficial to the rich than it is to the poor. We get pennies for every fucking $100 million they get, you know? So, yeah, all this bullshit about, you know, the Republicans fighting for freedom. Nah, they're not fighting for freedom, they're fighting to cover up the shit they're involved in. Or this idea that they're fighting for, you know, equality and, you know, people should be able to keep what they earn. That's all bullshit. If that was true, then why are ordinary working class people paying 35%? Why, if you earn, you know, 12 or 15 or 20,000 dollars a year, or pounds a year, why are you paying fucking 30%, 35%? And somebody who earns millions is paying like 12%, you know? How the fuck is that fucking fair? How is that them keeping what they earn but you can't keep what you earn? Why aren't you paying 12%? I mean, surely that's the way it should go, you know? And then we can just do away with any of the fucking services we give to people. We can just say, well, with the veterans, well, it's just tough luck they got their legs blown off, you know what I mean? We don't have the money to pay for it because we didn't tax people enough. How is it to think we can just tax the poor people enough to pay for veterans, but the veterans protected poor people more than they protected the rich? I think that's fucking absurd. The people who have more to gain from America having an army are the people who have more to lose. Yes, the rich. So they should fucking pay more for it, you know? That makes sense to me. I couldn't give a fuck what country, you know, I lived in. If I'm poor, I'm poor. If I've not got enough food to eat, I've not got enough food to eat. If I don't have healthcare, I don't have healthcare. It doesn't matter what country you live in if you're living under that fucking regime. You're fucked, you know? The point is, in Western nations, is we can see that, and we decided, well, at least in Britain, we decided in 1945, after the Second World War, these people fought for their country, they came back, they deserved to have at least some housing, so we had a huge housing fucking spree went on after 1945. We also decided that people needed a health fucking system, you know, and we fucking, you know, decided that the country should, you know, fork out some money for that, but the people should be charged some of the money, and it was up to the government to run it good, to run it well. The problem you've had over the last sort of like 60 odd years is succeeding governments have failed to remember why these things, these decisions were made, and they just see it now as a thing that's there, they've got to deal with it, it's a burden on us, and the sooner we can find some way to get that burden off our financial books as a country, the better, rather than actually seeing it as, you know, it was a necessary thing to have back then, it's a necessary thing to have now. Now they just see it as a burden on the books. It's turning our books into the black. And we'd rather, you know, cut the social services we give, rather than chase after the people who make the most out of the protection they get from the government, which are the rich people, the millionaires and billionaires. They've got the most to lose if our country was invaded. They've got the most to lose if our country's economic system collapsed. You know, because a poor person's going to be poor anywhere, under any system. But a rich person could suddenly find themselves going from rich to poor very fucking suddenly, under a change of system. So they have the most to lose, therefore they should pay the most for it. I'm just putting that out there. Right? If I was a billionaire, I wouldn't mind paying the 40 or 50% tax that was asked of me. Because I'm still going to be a billionaire no matter fucking what. How many billions do I need? Not many, really. Any person who doesn't have billions would think having 1 billion would be good. Having 0.5 billion would be good. Having 0.1 billion would be fucking good. You know what I mean? It's better than where I am now. But people who've got 20 billion and 30 billion or 10 billion or 15 billion or 1 billion, they're like, oh, I want to keep my billion. Well, you have got more interest in paying a little bit more in tax in order to make sure you keep your billion. Stop punishing the people that don't have it in order to keep it. Because it's only going to make people who don't have it hate you for having it and not doing a little bit you could do to make sure that it's worthwhile you having it, so long as they get a decent living wage, can pay their bills, fill their fridges, educate their kids and get to work and have a job to go to. That's the premise of a society, I think, you know. Call me fucking stupid, call me like, no, narrow-minded, but I'm a social capitalist. I believe in capitalism, but also believe that in the social welfare of a country depends on how you treat the least of us. And I'm not a religious person when I say that. I'm an atheist. But it still socially depends on the country depends on its coming together and feeling as a nation. The way you treat the lowest and weakest and least of us is how everybody in the country should view the country. So on you fucking bad motherfuckers. And I just hope what looks like it's happening now, you know, a turnaround in both of the economics of Europe. We're starting to think that, you know, the austerity that was imposed on us over the last 2-3 years has been wrong. And I'm hoping that in America you're understanding that the austerity that the Republicans have tried to impose under the Obama years and in some ways have still imposed by doing nothing. I'm hoping to see that's coming to an end over the next year or so over elections, you know, and hopefully by 2016. Cheers, man.